Oh, hey, look, Stantler.
Mm-hmm. Hard to hold points in the middle of this nonsense. Because we always go on about wanting to talk about stuff, and we never do. Like, Sean in the Discord posting this video that was talking about how they like the way this game worked because it removed EVs and IVs and stuff, and then Sean saying that
Which way is the Stantler facing?
it's looking at you because there's its head. And it turned away from you. Turn back. See? Just look for that giant ass. Oh, good. It's laying down. That'll give you a good catch rate. Yep. Those are incredibly crap. Unless you get that really good close range. That's how you use the heavy ball. See? They're good Pokeballs, it's just the risk is you have to get dangerously close. They're not better on weight-based Pokemon, since this game has a lot of shifting weights. It would be kind of either useless or incredibly...
Or incredibly overpowered.
Yeah, so they made it... It's a crap Pokeball unless you can catch something from behind. And then you get a really good catch rate. If I'm leaving this in, I don't think the EV and IV system is as bad as everyone makes it out to be. With the caveat that I do kind of agree it is sort of dumb, but if you understand how it works, I don't think it's inherently that bad. That's how you use the berries. Zubats are also just a pain in the ass to catch.
Of course they are. That holds true for the regular game.
Not entirely.
In terms of early game things, Zubat had a slightly... well, it's not inherently a high catch rate. Zubat are annoying to... let's see, number on a call during daylight. I was, oh, fuck you. Number to defeated with rock. I just
I actually look at Zubat's catch rate because I don't remember it being that bad. Oh, actually, that's kind of funny because in an actual Pokemon game, it's a 255.
Okay, I've seen Gust and Thundershot should murder get overall. It's a high catch rate, but it's more annoying because of, you know, like, confusion and shit. It's like if you're trying to weaken a Zubat because they're really fast, they can be annoying.
Going back to that EV-IV point, I hate sounding like an old man. Because I've made points about other people coming off as old men, but a lot of people complain about EVs and IVs and shit, and say how unreasonable they are. And I have semi-controversial point on that. I don't think they're that bad in modern games. Anything before Gen 5, I think it's fucking abysmal. And I hate the sort of old man syndrome of saying something like, oh, you just want instant gratification and you don't want to try? Because so many people that complain about EV training and shit, you'll bring up, like, people, like, damn, trying to hold a point and I just slurring my words there, like, Sword and Shield, you'd have people complaining, it's like, oh, getting a perfect Pokemon is just too hard. How do they expect you to do this? And you bring up, when you catch a Pokemon in a raid, it has a bunch of perfect stats. You can get decent Pokemon from a raid with like 4, or even if you're lucky, 5 you found the Alpha Graveler. Yep. Yeah, it's Dark
And that's why I saved before doing this.
Because I never liked doing the things of, oh, you just don't want to try, or you're being lazy. Because I think the game's improved massively, and I really don't think breeding in Sword and Shield is that bad, because the raids in Sword and Shield actually give you constant perfect Pokemon to use to start breed chains. The remake for Diamond and Pearl, because you don't have a good way to get perfect Pokemon in that outside of long, arduous, chaining using, like, the radar, where you have to chain like 50 plus Pokemon to start seeing good IVs. That I will give you as tedious nonsense, because that is tedious.
Oh, hey, look, Magikarp. Anyway, also need to craft more.
So yeah, I will give people the remake kind of bad. Sword and Shield, which the video Sean linked was using Sword and Shield as an example of competitive Pokemon taking too long to make. And I really hate arguing against it and being this guy, but no, Sword and Shield does not really take that long if you do a couple of raids. Now, the fucking secondary caveat that I will bring up before anyone says it, yes, 5-star raids, if you don't have a bunch of friends, or ironically, a good EV trained Pokemon, 5-star raids are just blatantly unfair.
Oh, I'll be fair and say it at least depends on what the 5-star raid is.
You know what the fuck I mean.
There are some that, ironically, given through, what I was complaining about, where you can use, like, abilities and certain, type combinations and shit to dump on a few raids, though, well, you can do, then this is where we get to the point of, like, the raids being kind of cheap. As an example, like, I had this happen once. I brought the Raichu, because I was Lightning Rod, into a raid that was an electric type. The game, immediately on the turn, like, after the turn where I pulled one of its mechs and moves, the game then did the suppressing the abilities and hit me specifically with electric damage. Now, granted, because it was Raichu, it resisted it, but the game, after basically turning off Lightning Rod, it then immediately chose an electric move. Okay, looks like you're gonna have to go the long way.
Land Bridge. Also, I don't want to riff on the game because other games do this, but anything slightly out of view cuts the freaking frame rate
A
down.
bunch of games do that. A bunch of games have been doing that. It would be unfair to criticize this game.
We made fun of Odyssey for the same reason.
Exactly. It's not just this game. A bunch of modern games do shit like that. If you're going to give this game crap for it, there are a bunch of other games you have.
When they said I would see a bunch of beavers on this beach, this is not what I was hoping for. Gotta sneak past the alpha beaver.
And by a sneak past, you mean lead the ghost type to see if it can do anything against the ghost type. Which, also, by the way, this Drift Boom was level 2 when I caught it. It's level 10 now. And
16.
Oh.
You might actually be able to. Strong style Icy Wind. You might be able to actually catch that thing.
Okay, that also shows it has Icy Wind, so I am going to want to use, I guess, the Shinx at that point. Because I would super effectively beat it and not get it hit. So I'm probably going to only give nicknames to shit I'm going to keep around,
That's what I was doing.
Which is why I haven't nicknamed anything yet, because nothing yet is a Pokemon I intend to keep. That's also because, I'll be honest, I don't entirely know. Well, actually, level 15. I guess let's try this at first. The barrel can actually be kind of fast, so it might be able to go first. Let's see. Oh, yep. Okay, we're going to, I guess, need Shinx at that point.
So that's actually an alpha you could actually catch.
Else. Other than, the starter, I really don't know what the hell else I intend to keep around. The only other thing I know for a fact I intend to use is the Goodra, but I don't know where the fuck you find Slugoo, and because that thing is cracked, I would assume Slugoo is stupid late into the game.
Because that's the problem without abilities. We're going to go back to that topic for a second. That does leave a lot of Pokemon or just...
Weasel should be able to outspeed. That's actually kind of, it's actually kind of interesting that that thing is faster than...
Of course it is.
Floatzel's speed is like 110, so I think Weasel's, unless it gets a super huge jump, I remember being like 80. Unless it gets a massive jump and its speed is actually like 50 and garbage.
It's 85.
Huh.
Weasel's 85, but Barrel is 71.
That's fucking interesting, man. One, that shows that thing has a bunch of games equivalent to the Ivy thing.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna at. At that point, well, one, I guess let's actually look at its speed here. It's 54, 42. Yeah, 75! Holy shit!
Mm-hmm.
So if this thing at 75 can't outspeed it, I have nothing else that it can.
Just ignore it then.
I guess we'll just ignore it.
Not that hard to dodge it.
Mm-hmm.
Already left the danger zone there. on! I see Baneri. Everyone's favorite normal type.
Boo! Boo!
And Side-Eye.
Sigh.
What?
Where's Baneri?
You don't have an injury because you haven't done anything to it.
What the hell did I just catch there?
Side-Eye!
Oh. Oh, heavy. Galt funny defeated. Think the electric move. Hey.
Caught the dog, not the rabbit. Now you caught the rabbit.
You suck. So, I still go first, so super effective and strong.
That's
what I wanted to see.
It's time for the question of the day and my overall thoughts on the topic. So anyway, I know I have asked similar questions to this before, and this will not be the last time a question like this comes up, but how do you feel about the way IV breeding and EV training works in Sword and Shield? Because, in my opinion, that was some of the best and most well-designed and thought-out IV breeding and EV training in all of Pokemon, simply because they give you a ton of tools, making the breeding actually go by rather quickly if you put in just a minimum amount of effort to do it. However, I will agree that the system is still not completely perfect. 5-star raids can be a pain in the ass to complete. And on top of that, you still have to worry about miscellaneous amounts of RNG, like hidden abilities, passing from a single parent 60% of the time. So 40% of the time, your single hidden ability parent will not produce hidden ability offspring. And if you're trying to get a weird set, like a 0 IV in speed for Trick Room, and a 0 IV in physical attack on a special attacker, that kind of breeding is always incredibly random, and I do wish that the game had introduced a negative bottle cap to give you a fake 0, but overall, I really do think a lot of people were complaining because they did not want to put in a lot of effort, but I hate sounding like a crotchety old man, and yes, I understand that even with the advancements that the game made, that a lot of people did not have as much time to sit down and breed a specific Pokemon, even though I think the breeding process really is better than every other game that came before it, simply because of all the tools you have, because let me tell you, this was one of the easiest games to constantly get 4 and 5 IV Pokemon with, perfect IVs for breeding. On top of that, with just a bit of BP grinding and a bottle cap or two and a nature mint, you could even circumvent breeding in a lot of cases and just go catch a Pokemon out of a den and just use that, which was also a pretty good idea. The point I'm trying to make here, I wanted to know how many people understand where I'm coming from, because I really do think a lot of people that were complaining about Sword and Shield taking too long have no idea how much of a tedious mess IV breeding and EV training was in the older games. But anyway, you can leave your thoughts, opinions, and answers in the comments, or you can leave them on social media. All of my social media links, as well as my Discord links, are in the video description. Now, as always, I need to be a shill for a minute. If you subscribe to the channel, and if you follow me on social media, that really helps our communities grow. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope I will see you all next time. So as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, everybody. I hope you come back someday. See you later.